to our VCT Masters podcast. I am Nathan Narwhal Torres. If you'd like to say you're using whatever IGN, then perfect. Going around the table, you guys can introduce yourselves.
Yeah, sure. Cameron, research.
I'm Riley Rumi Murayama.
And I'm Michael, also Michael the Cactus.
Yeah, just Michael the Cactus at this point. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
You just become the name that you are at some point. So today we're just going to be talking about kind of our going throughs of Masters. I know finals start tomorrow to the extent going throughout the weekend. And, it feels weird to have like a week off almost where we had no matches. I mean, we had Knights Gauntlet, but it's whatever. But not having Masters and actually paying attention to class, I think, Michael, you said that on Twitter, was very hard.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I feel it, though.
But, yeah, we can kind of go into it. I mean, what's everyone's general reactions going into finals? How do you feel about the tournament so far, kind of up to this point?
I just want to say I'm so glad that it's not just NAEU in, like, the Final Four. The fact that we have four teams from different regions is such it's such a refreshing thing to see. And like, especially a tournament like even like Masters, like even before we never got this much variety in a finals, like not finals, but like in a semifinal, quarterfinals experience, which is just great to see.
No, yeah, for sure. I thought it's been a really great tournament, but I would have really liked to see FPX. Just like they look so dominant, and I was like, the tournament could have been so different.
Oh yeah. FPX looked very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think just like I'm genuinely surprised that no EMEA teams made it into quarters. Like I think that I expected at least 1-2. I mean, like TL didn't look terrible. Like Fnatic didn't look terrible. Like no EMEA team walked into it. In my opinion, I thought they looked bad per se.
Yeah, I think the thing with Fnatic is like Durka's a really big part of their team. Like I saw a stat where like if Durka's not getting over a certain ACS, they basically just like lose. And so like just without Durka and like even having just two subs just like throws the team dynamic off so much. Like
Totally.
I definitely don't think they would have made a deep run regardless.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that. Like, I definitely think, obviously, Durka not being on Fnatic is a huge, like, that's obviously going to shake up any team. But I do think people aren't giving Fnatic as much credit as they are based on their performances. I forget who they played in the first game.
NIP.
It was NIP, right?
Yeah.
They lost to NIP 2-0, and they lost to Zeta 2-0. And I think people saw the Zeta game and the NIP game and looked at it like, okay, these are teams that Fnatic should be beating, so they're falling off, or, like, not falling off, but they have their two subs. This obviously, they're not just playing good, but I don't, like, obviously it does have something to do with it, but I don't think it's strictly just they had two subs so they didn't play well. I think the other teams they did play ended up stepping up more than people give them credit for.
Yep, no, I agree. And I think that, like, it just goes to show, like, I think Zeta and DRX's creativity alone in team comp really shows, like, how unprepared EMEA was in general for different ways of like looking at the game. I mean, like I don't have like a general stat or anything, but Chamber barely came out for a lot of times. It felt like with DRX and Zeta comparatively to the teams that they were facing off against, and they were still doing really well. Like we even saw some Cypher like still doing really okay, and I think that a lot of these teams just weren't expecting to be counter-stratted super hard as well. Like Zeta played really good counter-strats. And just a lot of teams just didn't seem to be ready for it, genuinely. I think that they also showed the strength of double controller. Like Astra and Viper mixed together specifically was working for them really well, and it was winning them rounds that they should not have been winning if they had a different comp. So I think it really showed that their creativity was up there. I don't think that any amount of preparation that EMEA could have done would have prepared them, in the sense that I think they were just expecting the tournament to be another NA pub stomp. It seemed like it genuinely seemed that way a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it just seemed like they didn't prep a ton. Like, I don't know, like. And that's just a personal observation, but yeah.
I think that goes into like kind of like the thing you said, Riley, was like the amount of like international teams that have made it this far is kind of surprising, because I think everyone assumed like, I mean, looking at the guard going out, I mean, they just don't have a lot of experience, but that was like just a whole other thing. Like Optic, I mean, where they're at right now, obviously they were kind of a favorite going into it, but then again, they have lost a couple, and sometimes they don't look as great than they do. Like then they just 2-0 everyone and they just look dominant. So I think that like the EME, whatever EU teams, they just kind of were kind of going in the same thing as NA. Like they just seemed like the dominant ones. We all thought like quarterfinals, finals are just going to be all EU, NA.
Yeah.
And it's kind of great that we're seeing like Loud, who's from Brazil, just kind of dominating it. And it's going to be, I mean, Optic Loud is going to be probably one of the better matches in the tournament, if it just goes as everyone predicts it's going to go. So that's kind of been going great. You guys already talked about, I mean, EU leaving early. It's just, no. Good. They're gone. Whatever. NA. Now we just have NA Cobian to be worried about, but that's a whole different thing. Yeah, but like we kind of talked about, I just said like the guard going out early. I mean, NA does look strong, but they don't look the best right now. Like they're not. I don't think they're the favorite now. I mean, at least in my opinion.
I don't know. I really like Optic. I mean, this is just. I'm just super biased. I loved Envy when they were Envy. So like I'm obviously gonna be an Optic fan now. Like Finesse is one of my favorite players. I think, yeah, they do struggle a little bit when, yeah, like they're playing a team with like a different kind of team comp. Like when they were playing Xerxia and like infamous chat like cringe comp quote. Like I feel like they kind of just like if they're like thrown into the water against like something they don't see, they kind of like don't know what to do, and that kind of hurts their confidence. And they're very like a momentum based team, and like they don't have that momentum. Like they definitely just like, I don't know, it's just something about like when they're confident is shot, there's like no one there besides Ye to like bring them back. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. There was an analyst at the event that was talking about the fact that in 5v4 situations when Optic is up, they have the like lowest win rate, like when they're up a man, like out of anyone at the tournament, I think. That's crazy to think about. Like Optic, they know how to pub stomp, like if they're allowed space to, but sometimes I think they think maybe even too hard. Maybe they're thinking too hard. I don't know. It is very interesting to see how hard sometimes they can just go in, or sometimes if Ye's not popping up, then sometimes it can be a struggle for them. But I feel like it's been a good event for Marv. It's been a really good event for him.
Marv looks really, really strong right now. He's really bringing Omen back into presence.
Yes, his Omen looks great.
His Omen has looked incredible.
I mean, like, I think Finesse, like as Agil's, like I think he's kind of been overshadowed by Alexander and blanking on his name, the C9 Vanity, yeah. And I feel like he's like been like overshadowed by them, but I think Finesse's IGLing has been really good this tournament. And he's also like had a game where he's top fried, but especially against the game against DRX, like the adjustments he made against DRX is like a really strong default. I thought like it was like a masterclass in like on how to IGL.
I agree, and I think too as well. Like, I think after seeing it now, like I think it's the place for Finesse too. You know, I think he has found his consistency in a lot of ways. And he seems to be doing fine. Like, he's not in a situation where he has to be stressed out anymore to, like, frag out all the time. He's just playing his game, and he seems to be doing it well. Yeah, so I agree. Yeah.
And then you guys brought up Marv, and I was just like, it just reminds me of, like, controllers popping off, and I think, like, Mako, he's, like, his ACS on the controller is crazy.
Insane.
Like, Mako has become, like, one of my favorite players to watch, and just what he's doing on the Omen, on the Viper is so crazy. It's, like they're not relying on our duelists to pop off. Mako's popping off like the Omen. It's like pretty insane.
It's impressive to see the Omen popping off because it really does show like you run double controller like screw the extra initiator. Like it's been working like a decent amount. So it's been cool to see because I think that we've had just such standard splits of team comps for so long in these map pools. And just to see these teams shake it up so much, it's been really nice after these Astra changes. And Astra isn't fully gone either, which is cool.
That's what I'm going to say. I think that controllers this tournament are really what's defining the tournament.
I think so.
Because, like, you watch the Sugar Zero last play Viper Astra.
Yes.
Sugar really Zero, his Astra is just, like, on a different level. The way he plays around his smokes and uses utility is just... He's won so many rounds that he should not win by hiding off site and just perfectly timing a sucker, a stun, and just clutching out rounds like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think Astra being out of the meta for a while and teams not expecting to play against it has really favored the teams that have stuck with the Astra comps.
I think that was like Zeta's biggest thing is that like I don't know why they were. I mean, like I'll admit to it, like I thought they were the underdog in almost every game they were gonna play, and then like I kept watching them, and I was like, okay, finally I believe in them because like they have gone this far, and Sugar Zero just playing Astra. I had literally when I just started watching them and actually like paying attention to their matches, I was like, I need to go look this up. Are they like the only team really just like confident with playing Astra? And it's like, yes, they are, because I don't know what Sugar Zero is on because like for some reason we all thought Astra was gone and he has just been the most dominant.
Yeah,
like one of the most dominant controllers out of the whole tournament.
Like their split looks so good.
He dictates almost an entire games just on his own. Just with what he can do on the Astra.
Yeah, I think the only other teams running Astra is I think DRX on Split and Ascent, and as well as Marv plays Astra on Split, but they're not doing the double controller. But yeah, like the Zeta comp was crazy. Like I was playing a scrim the other day, and they played the Zeta comp, and they did the exact same play I recognized from the Zeta game, and I typed in chat like, wait, is that the Zeta play? And they're like, yeah. I was just like, and we got destroyed in the scripts. We played all out, so like we lost 4-20. So yeah, that comp was insane, and it's like the ability to take the space with the Viper Wall, and then it's such a good comp. I feel like it's really hard to beat.
Yeah, I think I thought the same thing when the Paper X played, of course, Yoru, the Forsaken, the dirty bomb that he dropped. Oh my god, I think that was like when they had Breach and him, and they of course just Breach all onto site, and Yoru just follows it. I was like the neon thing that was just the same way. And I was like, that's just a way better utility for him. That you think like Yoru would be used, but if they used him perfectly with someone else, there's so much space that could be taken, and it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, like I know Forsaken did an interview after that game he played Yoru, and he was talking about what like his mindset going into the game was, and he was saying one thing is that he thinks teams are gonna start realizing how powerful Yoru is. Because I don't know if you watched or like watch his plays specifically, but he would use the ult, run into he would run up like a short bind into lamps, ping the ground on the enemy. The second the ping came through, his teammate would stun it. He'd flash, come out of his ult, and then get the kill. The guy was stunned and flashed.
He almost every time, at the very least, got traded, and it was a free plant.
Yeah, because he would just take space, ping the enemies, and they get stunned up, and it's just like the amount of the teamwork that they pulled off was just with that comp especially just insane.
Yeah, I think, I mean, talking about Paper X and Zeta, I mean, of course, they play next two against each other, which is going to be definitely another interesting match going into finals, which is, again, two international teams that we might not have seen that maybe a lot of people underestimated going into the tournament. And I think that it's just going to be great. As we move on, I think, at least out of the next two games, I think the Loud Optic, I think most people are excited for. And I am, because I am a Latin America Brazil fan, region at least. Going into these next two matches, do you guys think are going to be your favorite?
I gotta say Zeta Paper X, but that's the same reason I'm just any APAC Japan fan. But yeah, Paper X has really, really surprised me this tournament. Like Zeta, I'd kind of been following them. I knew about all the roster changes, but Paper X came out of nowhere, and they're looking really good this tournament. So I mean, I'll be happy with whoever wins that game.
I particularly am excited for Zeta versus Paper X. Hopefully, because I want to see them both on their favorite map picks. I want to see them trying to counter strat each other or trying to specifically take out parts of each other's team comp, because I feel like they were both doing a really good job of looking at other teams and doing that. So I'm excited to see how they do it with each other. I would really love to see Bind. I would really love to see Split when they play against each other. So yeah, definitely excited for that matchup.
Yeah, I think that match was pretty exciting, but I'm definitely looking forward to Loud Optic a lot more. I think Loud and Optic are one of like the top, like they're both like in the top 3 teams in Masters, and I would say like, in my opinion, the top 3 teams were like DRX, Optic, and Loud. Like in any order, I feel like there's no like clear number one. So I think it's gonna be a very exciting match. Like Loud is just so fun to watch. They're so aggressive, and and I'm so glad like Stassi has found like a place, because he was
True.
really good when he was before, and like it just opens up his game so much. Like he doesn't have to like carry his team anymore, and I just feel like he's so much more free flowing on the Sova. I really want Optic to win, but I'm really scared of that. I think they're just firing on all cylinders. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the way I kind of see these two games, it's like Zeta Paper X. It's more of like a who's gonna come up with a more creative team comp. We know for sure we're gonna see some crazy heroes, agents, some crazy characters out there. It's gonna be just who can outbrain each other. And then I feel like the Loud Optic matchup is just okay. We're gonna run full force each other and just see who's gonna win.
Yeah, I mean I don't necessarily think Optic is like a team that like, oh, let's just run it down. I mean they have the players capable to do it. I feel like they're
very mechanical.
Yeah, they're very mechanical, but I feel like they do like I think they like anti-strat like Xerxia the second time, and I feel like they're gonna put a lot more prep work into against Loud, so I think we're gonna see a lot more anti-stratting. The thing I'm worried about is like if Ye's not able to pop off like handle the aggression, then like okay, who's next to step up? Like it's gonna be Victor, but I feel like he's inconsistent sometimes. But I really like the Neon. That I think they're the only team running Neon, and it'll be very interesting to see how Loud will deal with that.
Yeah, it's it. I mean, yeah, there was a only team playing Neon really, somewhat effectively, I guess. But yeah, I guess going into these next matches, I mean, obviously, Michael, you have you probably have Optic winning, but you know, there's probably some deep down inside. Do you think Loud's gonna win? But going into what do you guys have going into the next matches? Who do you have winning, and who do you have in the finals, and who do you think is winning?
I'll go first. Yeah, I think Loud Optic. I think that that Loud is gonna take it just because of overall consistency. Like I think it's gonna be close. Genuinely, I think it's gonna be close. I think we're gonna see all three maps. But I think that Loud's gonna edge it out. It's gonna be fine. And Paper X Zeta. I think Paper X. Just because I've seen them be more successful late round. I feel like, and I think that they have some abilities to really stress out Zeta if they are really going too hard with their util. I think, and so I would imagine personally, Loud Paper X final. I wouldn't be surprised if Loud takes it all, but yeah, that's just me.
All right, so for Loud Optic, I will say this is the first time in probably all of watching Valorant that I've had hope for an NA team, and like I've thought they were legit. I do think Optic is a very, very good team. This is the first time I've seen Optic and like been confident in what they can do. But Loud is just like Optic Gaming. Like Optic's really good, but they're not like a super team. And I think like Loud is pretty much a Brazilian super team. So I'm not saying it's gonna be close. I don't think it's gonna be like a wipeout by any means, but I think I do have Loud edging it out in the end. And then Zeta Paper X. I think this game all depends on how well Zeta can keep their composure, because we haven't had a team that's been able to break down Zeta yet. They've stayed calm and composed through almost every, besides the first DRX game, but that was their first whatever game, right? But there hasn't been a team who's been able to fully break down Zeta yet and cause them to crumble. And I think Paper X has caused almost every team they played to crumble. So I think these two like combating styles, where one is just very like calm, cool, collected, very we're gonna play our game, and then Paper X just we're gonna send Jing in with 2 blast packs down mid, he's gonna headshot 4 people. And then I think those two different play styles are gonna really show against each other.
They really caught G2 off guard.
Yeah, no,
exactly. And in that way, like it's really hard for me to look at their matchup with Zeta and not favor them. Like I 100% I agree. Yeah. Respect to Zeta, they're super creative, but the pressure that Paper X puts on is huge.
I think I have Zeta winning that game. I think there's a lot more film now on what Paper X is gonna do, and they've had these couple of days just to like watch the VODs, and I think Zeta is the smarter team, and I think they're gonna use this prep time to definitely like come up with something to stop this aggression from Paper Rex and stop their play.
That's true. They've had some counter striding days. Yeah,
exactly.
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't know. Paper Rex doesn't seem like a team to me that would, that would like just like counter strap people. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but
on the contrary, Paper Rex has the calmest team comps I've ever heard out of this tournament. Their team comps are so calm and like very cool, very methodical.
Yeah.
It's their team comps are the exact opposite of their play style.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I have Zeta winning that game, and then I also have Loud winning the Loud Optic game. Very close. I think it could go either way, but I think Loud does edge it off because Optic does get caught off guard. But in the grands, I have a Loud Optic rematch and Optic winning. I think Optic is just. I mean, after what I saw, what they did with Xerxia, I just feel like, okay, let's calm down. Let's like rethink how we're gonna play this game, and I feel like they're like the team that can best adapt to anything in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, going in, like I said, I have Loud winning against Optic, mostly just out of bias. But I do think it's going to be very close. Even if the maps are 13-6, I think whatever that gap is still going to be, those rounds are going to be so close.
Yeah,
it's not even gonna be like it should be a 13-6. Zeta and Pyrex is the hardest one for me, just because, like I said, I have had whatever with predictions or whatever, I have put them on like the underdog, not winning as far as they were, and they have proven me wrong. So like basically every single time. So to this point, I have to give it to them, and I do love Sugar Zero.
Sugar Zero is crazy.
That was like the one thing, like research thing I did. I was like, I gotta look up his Astra, because this is the most. I don't know why anyone would be playing Astra, but for some reason it's just working for them too well, and so I do think Zeta's gonna win. I mean, I do think Zeta loses to Optic, and I do think it's another Loud Optic rematch, but I'm just going to take Loud again, just out of bias.
Yeah.
But I do think Optic is going to win to Zeta, just out of sheer will and how much like VOD reviewing this is. Like everyone said, we're counter-stratting this whole week that they've had off. They're not playing 5 days in a row anymore. This is like, I think this is truly going to like put the teams to the test where no one's going in as blind as they were before. So, and I do think Optic can probably break that down a little more, just not against Loud.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly see Paper Rex just running a totally different team content than running just to throw people off. Like they're gonna run a Phoenix, and then for some reason, and then Forsaken's gonna pop up on the Phoenix. Like who knows? Like
they literally feel like the most like solo queue put together team, where they're just like the same thing with like the comms. They're just like no one's calming. It's just like, okay, let's just do what we normally do, guys.
On the contrary, their comms are like impeccable. Their comms are really, really clean. Like they're really good. They don't act at all like a solo queue team until you watch them play. You wouldn't expect how good their comms are by watching them play.
No, there's so much chaos in their game.
Yeah,
their comms are so clean.
Their comms are like dead quiet. They're only giving super vital information very calmly. And then it's like Jing blast packing down mid, and he's just like, oh yep, one's to my left.
That's awesome.
You're watching this and you don't know that we stream Valorant, League, Overwatch, Hearthstone, League of Legends. I said that already. Call of Duty. I always miss one somewhere in there. That we stream that over on the University of Oregon Twitch channel, just twitch.tv/University of Oregon. And you'd probably see one of our lovely faces over there sometime. Besides that, we are done here.